What is going on, Simpler team? My name is Mike Teeto. I am head of the Stock Mavericks community in Simpler Trading. We're actually a fairly new community, just started about a month ago. I am here to go over stocks to watch for the new presidency coming up. And I think this is actually a great topic for me to go over because I am a day trader. Usually when I trade, it's from one day to the next. So for the most part, I would say momentum trading is something that I'm highly taking advantage of. And with what's about to come in these next 4 years, I'm very excited for because I think a lot of momentum is up ahead. So get excited for today. It's going to be a quick 30-minute review, but we're going to review a lot of stocks as well as sectors to go over for this upcoming new 4 years with a new president here. So I started off with my good old board in the USA. But the whole goal, guys, is no matter what, proud or not proud, you should always be proud to be American. But whatever happened in the presidency, put that behind you. The goal is now, as a stock trader, is you have to continue to invest no matter what. So now it's how do we take advantage of the price movement that is about to be ahead of us. So that's what we're here to learn about today. So let's dive on in. The two things over are sectors to watch and then stocks to watch. Thing about a new president is obviously we have all people that are coming into office, all new visions, all new ideas, and that usually brings momentum to different sectors. So that's what we'll talk about today. If you guys don't know who I am, this is actually my full journey. You can actually go search me on profit.ly. I know I'm fairly new to the Simpler community, but I have been trading now since 2015, consistently with my own company since 2018, and then I just merged over with Simpler recently. But with that being said, I want to highlight that I've actually been in 3 different presidential cycles since trading. I mean, obviously the beginning of my career was during Obama's times, and then during Trump's times, honestly, we had a lot of craziness, a lot of momentum. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. And then the same thing happened with Biden's presidency. So the whole thing about what we do is learn how to take advantage of an up, down, or side-to-side market. And that's what we've been able to do consistently year in and year out. So that's the 4 different presidencies we've been. We got Obama, we got Trump, we got Biden, and now we're going back to Trump. Before I dive in, I just want to let you guys know that nothing is guaranteed. So I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to talk about possibilities here. I'm also just showed you my past history, but that was my past history. So nothing's guaranteed. I'm not just telling you to go out and buy these stocks. That's not what I'm trying to tell all you guys to do. The goal is you want to try to learn about these, create watch lists, and be prepared for when they do make a possible move in the future. So that's what we're going to be looking to do here, all right? So let's dive on in. I just want to let you guys know the whole goal is not to just go buy these stocks I'm talking about. It's not like they're all just going to go up because Trump's the next president. I just known in my past history, since I've been trading now for almost a decade, that usually when certain things are said or certain stuff happens in the world, it brings a certain group of stocks up. And that's how we know how to take advantage of it. But you always want to make sure that you have the right stocks, the right risk levels, the right volume, and the right price action. So there's a lot of things that line up. You don't just go out and buy a stock just because it's a stock. All right, guys, so let's dive on in. So let's get into the good stuff. So these are the sectors that usually are out there that I take advantage of. There's plenty of more out there, but recently I've been able to take advantage of AI, Bitcoin, EV, cannabis, COVID, gold, banking, oil, and space. Those have all been great sectors. Today, I'm going to highlight only 5. I think there will be more that will be talked about as obviously we move on to the next 4 years of the presidency. But right now, I'll highlight the 5 that I think we should pay attention to. And then if you continue with the Simpler team, you'll be able to find out the more as we continue to trade together. But here we go. The first one I'll start off is Bitcoin. And I think it's a good one to start off with because it's pretty much the talk of the town. So with every sector, usually there is one thing that leads it. I call it the sector leader. And it's usually some sort of current event that's in the world that everybody's talking about it. So usually when everybody's talking about it, it's actually a good thing. So of all everybody is, talking about one subject, that's a good thing. But we want to be in before everybody talks about it. And that's why we create these watch lists and we prepare ourselves for these moments, because we were actually able to do that in these Bitcoin stocks. So Bitcoin, why it started to become the talk of the town and why stocks that are related to Bitcoin started to blow up is because it broke above 100K. Why did it break above 100K? Right when Trump was elected president. He's the first to pretty much own Bitcoin. He actually owns Bitcoin. He showed it in his portfolio. And then he actually went to a Bitcoin bar. He pretty much he went to the Bitcoin conference in 2023. So he's definitely pro Bitcoin. And that's a good thing. And that's usually going to cause a whole group of stocks to move. Now, what are those groups of stocks? Here's what I try to keep an eye on. So if I'm you right now, what I would do is create a watch list on your whatever platform you guys are trading on, and open up your platform and just create watch lists. Name it the Bitcoin watch list. And now these are the stocks we like to eye down. Obviously, Bitcoin is the sector leader. So when Bitcoin breaks out, usually these stocks move as well. MSTR was that huge squeezer that all of us knew about with Mr. Saylor, the big Bitcoin investor. GBTC is actual Bitcoin. So those two are usually what I look at. If those two start to move, the rest of these start to move. And it's the same thing when it comes with a small cap. So there's usually one large cap that moves a lot, and then the other large caps follow, or listed stocks follow. Or there's one small cap that spikes like crazy, and the other ones follow. BTCT was a good example of that. And then BTCS was a good example of that. So with BTCS, what was great about that, I'll go back to this because it seems like we're loading a little bit. But if you were a part of the community, BTCS was a stock that we were actually watching from $1.40. We were buying it at $1.80. The stock spiked all the way to $5. So it just shows you the potential in these stocks, and when things do get hot, what exactly happens here. So let's see if I can show you. I won't get too crazy with it, but let me see if I can pull up one of these Bitcoin stocks to show you an example of a past spiker that happened. And what happens, guys, is you want to have all of these pulled up, all of these stocks pulled up, because just like I said earlier, the goal is not to just go buy any of these just because Bitcoin's spiking. You still want to have a list of them and find which ones have volume, find which ones have price action that you like. So that's what we talk about with lining up with certain levels. But you can see the potential when this stock loads, you'll be able to see the potential in these Bitcoin plays when things do heat up. And this stock was a stock that spiked all the way back in 2020 and 2021, back when Bitcoin was really hot. So that's why I've known about this stock. I've been trading in these cycles now for a while. That's why I kind of showed you guys. This is my 4th president cycle that I'll be trading in. So I know which ones usually spike in the past. In BTCS, you can see last time Bitcoin got hot, it actually spiked from $1 to 30. So right now it's kind of consolidating, but it recently spiked from $1.80 where we were buying it all the way up to $5, and that happened in a couple days span. And you look for that to repeat in tons of other stocks. And what happens is once one of them goes, the rest of them usually do follow. So let me see if I can pull up just one more just to show you an example of it. But once BTCS started spiking, you had other ones started spiking. And I don't know if any of you guys saw BTCT, but BTCT was another Bitcoin one that spiked from $4 to actually over $20. So it looked like almost this move that happened in BTCT this time around. So that's what we're looking for in the Bitcoin sector, just so you guys can have that list ready. Right now, Bitcoin's actually leveling right around 100K. So I'm not going out there and telling you guys to buy these at all, but I think it's important for everybody to have these watch lists and be prepared for when the movement happens. I mean, if Bitcoin breaks back above 100K and continues to spike, these ones will all continue to move in an upward trend. And if you go to our social media, we actually just made, it was like 25% in 60 minutes here on this Bitcoin one. So that's the first sector we'll eye down. I got 5 that we're going to go over in the next 20 minutes here. So if you guys are interested, let's do it. AI is the next one. AI, the sector leader for AI is literally, there's a stock called AI. I mean, ChatGPT literally took over the world in 2021. Everyone was talking about it. It's continued to enhance itself. It's enhanced itself so much that almost every large company now, Microsoft, Google, Apple, everybody's trying to have an AI, or they do have an AI. And if you don't have an AI, they're saying within the next decade, you probably are going to get left behind as a company. So that is important for us to realize. And I think this will be a good thing to keep an eye out in the future. Trump's really not too high. I mean, I don't think he said anything indirectly with AI, but I would say this is just a good sector to keep an eye on. Here are some stocks that you want to watch just to show you good examples of, because they're actually, this sector is actually spiking right now as we speak. So just to show you some examples of AI spikes. Let me get in here. Hold on, let me see if I can get this pulled up. 1 second. But if you were to see AI, so here is SOUN, and then the sector leader was AI. AI actually broke out yesterday, and then today it actually is making new 52-week highs after coming out with earnings. So it dropped earnings and it's making new 52-week highs. That's a good sign for the overall sector. And then SOUN, just to show you the potential in these moves that we're talking about, it's $5 all the way up to 15 just recently. And you know, this could just be the beginning if AI continues to grow. And if it isn't the beginning, the thing is, the cycles happen where once they get hot again. So I'm just showing you guys what could potentially make moves in these next couple of years coming up. So this is a good watch list to have. If none of you guys have these stocks, add them all, create an AI watch list, and let's pop those in there. The next sector we're going to talk about is EV. So we got the EV sector to talk about. I think this one's almost self-explanatory, I would say, with EV. So what I would say here is, you guys saw it if you watched the presidency. Elon pretty much made Trump his right-hand man during this, or Trump made Elon his right-hand man. And Elon is literally the owner of the sector leader, Tesla, of this sector. I mean, he's pretty much, I'd say, the modern day Benjamin Franklin, in my opinion. I mean, the guy does stuff, breaks the industry, does stuff that no one thinks they could do, and then he does it. And it's really cool to see. Space is obviously another sector that I would say you should keep an eye on, but that's one I didn't really highlight too much in this webinar. But that's definitely another sector that we have our eyes on as Stock Mavericks. But the EV sector is something to keep close eyes on, especially with Tesla. What's Tesla done lately? Unreal stuff. Because right when Trump got president, obviously with Trump being or Elon being the right-hand man, Tesla gapped up. And then Elon got appointed Department of Government Efficiency, and it gapped up even more. Now Tesla's making new 52-week highs. It's back in the 400s. So that could cause other EV stocks to spike. So that's all I'm looking for, is other EV stocks. I'm not really telling you guys to go out and buy Tesla. Tesla is up a lot now. And as a short-term trader, there will be tons of moves there. But there are a lot of other EV stocks to keep an eye on. And the cool thing is, as you continue to trade, and if EV continues to be a bigger sector, there will be more stocks that will pop up too. So the ones I'm going to show you right now are just ones I'm highlighting, but there will be more that will most likely pop up as the sector continues to grow, and as Trump right here has a right-hand man in EV. So this is Tesla right now. It's up 5% today. That's good for EV in general. Up above $400, like I was saying earlier, and it's holding that $400 line right now. And if you look at the long-term chart, it's coming up to all-time highs. And this was the move that happened right after Trump became president. I mean, you get the gap up, and then you literally get an instant squeeze. So really, you could tell that's directly affected by the presidency. But there's other stocks that are related to Tesla and the EV sector. And this is a small list I have right here. But there are tons of other EV stocks out there to take advantage of. I'm just showing you a small one that know how to spike, or that I've seen spike in the past. But we'll see, what other ones will continue to grow and continue to pop up. And then the last kind of sector I wanted to bring up, and like I said, there will be plenty of other sectors that will be moving, but I think it's nice to actually just keep these, is cannabis. And cannabis is doing the opposite of all the other ones. So the other ones have actually been spiking on an upward trend, where cannabis is on a downward trend. And that's not a bad thing, because once something happens big, news related, usually, or legalization related, usually we'll get a spike. So we'll let these cool off for now. But the thing is, I would still create a watch list with all of these stocks, because everything that goes up must come down, and not everything that goes down must go up. But usually, if they're a stock that's somewhat spiked in the past before, and they're in a sector that's a popular sector like cannabis that's slowly legalizing in different states, then I would say it's not a bad idea to create a watch list for possible spikes in the future. So let's see if I can pull up just to show you some big fades here in this sector. And what I like to look at for the cannabis sector, the sector leader is CGC, and that's all the way down to $3. Stock was in the hundreds at one point. And then MSOS, when it comes to cannabis OTC stocks, or just cannabis stocks in general, usually this spikes. And you can see it's just dragged its way all the way down. So no real momentum there. And I'm not telling you to go buy anything, but I'm not just going to show you stocks that are going up right now. I think it's important for you to realize that there is opportunity as well in stocks going down too. So we'll keep an eye out. Not saying to go catch a falling knife or to go buy right now, but if you do look, let me just pull up one more cannabis stock. You'll be able to see that these stocks have been up a lot in the past, and they've spiked in the past. And when they did spike, it was during Trump's presidency back in 2020 and 2021. So back when this MSOS got that big spike, Trump was in office. Back in 2021, it spiked from $10 to $55. And the same thing when it comes to CGC if you watch it. So I usually like to see stocks that has past history, just because of how long I've been trading. I like to say what goes around comes back around, just like that common word thing that happens in life. That's actually real in the stock market, and usually you're able to take advantage of ones you've taken advantage of before. This looks very ugly now, but I just want to show you that it had potential, and you never know what can happen. So that's what we like to look at. We like to see the past, but I'm also not here to just buy. I want to keep eyes on news like this. I mean, it was crazy when he said Matt Gaetz was possibly going to be the Attorney General, and that caused a possible spike in cannabis stocks because he was pro-cannabis. And then Republicans aren't usually pro-cannabis, so that's what's causing this big drop. These are the stocks I would just keep a watch list on if you wanted to for cannabis-related stocks. And then the last one that I'm going to highlight with you guys is the housing sector. I don't necessarily know why. Oh, this is for my Bitcoin notes. But I know that these stocks are favorable towards Trump, and they did get huge spikes once Trump became president and got elected. These are just a small group of them, and they're all OTCs, so they're slower movers. But they present great opportunities for any type of an account level, small, large. You can put millions of dollars into these trades when they get volatile. So when they do get volatile again, they're fun ones to take advantage of. We've made some good money off of them. Last year during New Year's, we made good money off of them. 4 years ago when Trump was in office, we made good money off of them. And we recently made good money off of them. And we'll see if they can come back around. But the great thing is, guys, is I'm giving you a list of stocks. I'm not just giving you one when I'm talking about a sector. So you find which ones are great for you. There are tons of different traders out there. There are option traders. Some of these stocks have options. Some of them don't. So that's why I'm giving you a list. There are just regular stock traders. There are large cap stock traders, which we have large caps. There's small cap stuff. That's usually what we do. And then there's penny stocks too. But this is what I'm talking about with Fannie Mae back when Trump was president. It had big spikes. It also had big drops. So just volume. Volume is what we take advantage of, or opportunity. These are big swings that are happening. And the same thing happened right when he became the president. It literally spiked from $1.30 all the way up to $3.50. And the great thing about sectors is they all follow each other. So watch, I'll pull up these other housing stocks, these Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac stocks. Let me just pull them up for you guys just so you guys can see how they all follow together. And the great thing is if you do the same thing with the other sectors I just brought up to you and the other stocks in the sector, their charts are going to look similar as well. So that's why I say it's your choice which ones you want to take advantage of. You go after that. And yeah. All right. So let's see. So that way Fannie Mae's chart, I literally switch to FMCC and it literally is going to look exactly the same. Except this one's a little different, but you can just see that how similar they are. Let me see if I could just pull up one more to show you how similar all these are and how you all could take advantage of it. Let me just see if I can get this one more pulled up. And then I have two things I'm going to go over, last things. And then if you guys have any questions or any you guys want to talk about, you're more than welcome to ask that. One second. Let's see if this can pull up. If I even, did I type that in right? Yeah, I did. So this is a very slow moving one. But it's just all about the long-term chart. And if you look at it, the opportunity was there just like the other one. This one's actually breaking out right now. Interesting one to look at. So that's some great stuff. Those are the sectors and the stocks that I would personally keep an eye on, create watch lists, and be ready for in the next couple of years. You also are going to have more things that will pop up. The one stock, this is the only time that we're in a presidency that I've ever seen the president's name in a stock. It's literally called Trump Media and Technology. I don't know how they're going to even let him have this happening while he's the president, but he said he's not selling his shares. And this stock has been very volatile. It spiked really well after he became a president right here. But it came all the way back down, and now it's just leveling out. So that's definitely one, I'd say, a good one to keep an eye on. It's just literally named DJT. But we'll see. And then the last thing I want to talk about are Trump tweets. You know, he used to have these crazy tweets that he would come out with, and those tweets cause volume. Volume is what causes the opportunity that we are talking about. So that's why we're here to tell you that nothing is guaranteed. I'm not telling you to go out and just buy the stocks, but if there are volume, that creates opportunity, and we're here to take advantage of it. So all those sectors that I just brought up to you, Bitcoin, AI, EV, cannabis, housing, and obviously the little bonus ones on top, these ones, those are all ones to keep an eye on in these next 4 years as Trump becomes the new president. And honestly, they were great years when I was trading. So like I said, no matter what you're in favor of, we can't change the outcome anymore. So if you're in favor of it not happening, nothing you can do about it. If you're in favor of what happened, let's roll with these next 4 years. The whole thing is, though, no matter what, is you are your own boss as a trader. And that's the beauty about trading. So you take advantage of it how you want to. And usually the best way to do it is find stocks with volume and with the right risk levels and go after them. So that's why I created that list. That's why I had this webinar today. It looks like we don't have too much questions. Oh, it looks like, so I do look for increasing volume. So the question was, so do you watch for increasing volume before you enter? Volume is a big thing. There's a lot of things that go into what we do. But yes, volume, I'd say, is number one, because we're not going to just play a stock that's trading sideways. Even if a sector gets hot, sometimes there will be a stock that doesn't get any volume. So you'll sometimes get a stock that literally won't move anywhere, even though, the sector will move. So I'll try to find an example of that. And there are different examples, but yes, volume is key. Price action is key. We actually play patterns, not stocks. So if you're interested in something like this, us as Mavericks, we play patterns. And usually when they line up with the pattern, they have the volume, we go after it. I've been trading these stocks for a while. The more you trade them, the more you'll realize which ones spike and which ones don't. And you usually start to get a feel for which ones move. So experience is really key, I'd say, with a lot of these things. But you can find stocks like, I think it was AABB. There was like a Bitcoin. There's a couple Bitcoin stocks that haven't even moved, even though Bitcoin's broken out of 100K. So volume is key. We're not just going to go into a stock without volume. But that was a really, really good question. I do like that. And the opportunity comes from the volume. And then another sector that's actually popping up right now is quantum stocks. That kind of goes with AI. Those are new ones like QSI, that's a whole new thing. But those are stuff that we're actually watching right now as a Maverick. So the fun stuff is we're always there taking advantage of what's hot, what's not. There's a lot of new things that are popping up here as we continue to go in the future. And then also, guys, I have no clue what's in the future. Just like we didn't know COVID was going to be a thing and we didn't know the market was going to get volatile like that. So COVID became a hot sector out of nowhere. There were stocks. It was a bad sector because people were dying, but there was ways to take advantage of it. There were stocks that were coming out with potential cures. There were stocks that were getting hand sanitizers. There were stocks that were doing stuff like that. Like, it was funny what was coming out during that time, and that's what we're here to take advantage of. So I don't even know what might be the next hot new sector, but that's the beauty about the stock market. Nobody knows, and nobody could be perfect. I like to relate it to golf. So you just always have to wake up prepared every single morning and continue to swing at what you know works for you. Learn, profit, repeat, and then what I like to say, let's get rich together. So that's ABB right there. You can see it spiked back, but it still hasn't done anything. And that is just like an example of a stock that hasn't got volume at all, even though Bitcoin is spiking. All right, guys, I appreciated this lesson with you guys. I hope you guys did too. Hope you learned a thing or two. You can find me in the Simpler Trading Stock Mavericks room. So we do have our own room called Stock Mavericks. Come check me out if you're interested. Also follow me on Instagram. It's called Stock Snipers. That was what I used to call myself. Still do, but follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that great stuff. All right, guys. Much love. Thank you, Simpler team. And go take advantage of this year ahead. And let's go Dolphins, guys. Let's go Dolphins. See you guys.